They gon' let me in this club in these dirty vans. Clean money, I count stacks with these dirty hands. Do a show, cop the rack with my new advance. 50 bands, 80 bands, 100 bands.
Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas, NRG Stadium in Houston. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Houston Texans. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Now a play fake here on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Ben Gideon, tough to handle on that blitz. He gets him for a loss of 5. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. From the shotgun, Wilson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
They'll look to throw. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off around the 37. They were ball hawks last week. They had a trio of interceptions on defense. In the first drive, they pick up right where they left off.
They're creating quite a reputation for themselves, aren't they? And sometimes what happens is when they know that the defense can take the ball away, as they saw the previous week, now you try too hard to not let them take it away, and you force yourself into errors. They've intimidated them in a sense and gotten the ball from them.
And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
3 down.
A first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front and linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. On 2nd down, Kamara. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
They'll try the air now with Watson. Flush to his right. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Down! Green the line! Green the line!
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Green the line! Green the line!
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Vernon Butler able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And that's going to be knocked away and incomplete. And with it, time has expired on the first quarter. And the first play will be a field goal try. Right hash mark of 42-yard attempt. And Hauschka's kick is good. And it's now 3-0 Texans. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and of course they'd like to forget the ending, the interception, but they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Always got some breathing room. Breaks the tackle, now rally. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete. Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. Now a handoff. This is Gordon. And a short gain here down to the 22. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The Chargers on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
He'll look to throw. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will tie us at 3-3. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point is supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 15. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. To play in a tightly contested first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.